Warning: rugby may be dangerous to your health. I drive past Kilburnie Park every day on my way to school, and there are often hundreds of seagulls nesting on the ground at this time. Kilburnie Park is used all the time for rugby and soccer in the winter, and cricket and softball in the summer. This got me thinking, knowing how much seagulls excrete. I wondered if people could actually get an enteric illness by contact with these seagull feces. I did some background research to see if any zoonotic bacteria are present in seagull feces. I found that Campylobacter salmonella, as well as many other bacteria, have been isolated from seagull feces, and almost all of these have the potential to cause enteric illness in humans. While I found many studies on picking up illnesses from contact with other sports players, for example, this study in the Lancet about scrum kidney infections, I found that there appears to be no research done on picking up enteric diseases from the sports ground itself. My next step was to design an experiment that could give meaningful results as to whether or not the players are picking up pathogenic bacteria from the ground to their hands. I got in touch with Stan Abbott, a microbiologist at Massey University, who suggested I use two types of plates: standard nutrient agar, which grows most bacteria, and McConkey agar, which grows only gram-negative bacteria, 95% of which can be pathogenic given the right circumstances, and then compare the two results. I have no real way of knowing if the bacteria grown on the McConkey plates is really pathogenic to humans, or whether it came from seagull feces, the soil, or any other animal feces. But by comparing the two results, it clearly shows that there is transfer of potentially pathogenic bacteria to the hands of the players who came in contact with the ground. One of my biggest challenges was to design an experiment that eliminated as many variables as possible. And another huge challenge was the logistics of organising my experiment. I originally wanted to have 2 teams of 10 players, and to play the games on 3 consecutive days. This proved to be unworkable, and so I had to compromise by using 5 players per side and to play the games all on the same day, one after the other. Doing it this way actually proved to reduce variables such as ground conditions and variations in players. And running the experiments consecutively had the advantage of also testing the effectiveness of hand washing. I found that normal soap is just as good as using antibacterial soap, and that repeated hand washing lowers your bacterial count. Some other challenges were storing the 240 plates in the fridge at the correct temperature. Stan was very helpful in showing me how to correctly label and handle the plates. He also showed me how the players should place their hands on the plates. Even so, it was hard to stop some of the rugby players from pressing too hard. These may seem like obvious results, and yes, they were what I was expecting. However, because it appears that no one else has ever tested for the transfer of pathogens from the sports field to the players, I believe that there is a lack of awareness from people who use the sports field to the risk of picking up some enteric illness from the sports field. I would like to raise awareness and to educate sports managers, coaches, players, school teachers and GPs about these risks, and for managers to bring soap and water to the games for the players to use. Future research could be done to find out what attracts the seagulls to the field. Potentially, it's a food source which future research could control at this fundamental level. Thank you. By Gabrielle Armstrong Scott.